Okay, third grade, how did you guys feel whenever I was invisible that entire math class? Who has something that they could share about how you felt whenever I was invisible? I wasn't giving you directions. I wasn't answering any questions. What had to happen?
That's
me.
me.
I love the enthusiasm. Anthony, what's one thing that had to happen? Thank you for standing up and talking to your friends.
One thing that we had to do was work together with your partner and figure out on your own without asking questions for the teacher, and ask your partner the questions.
Okay, so you guys were definitely more dependent upon your partner. Who else? Let me
That's
really
me.
it up. All right, Jace, nice and loud, please.
I like how Anthony said dependent, and I would like to add on. One thing that I like to do,
That I was silent.
I was silent. I was actively listening to Ava.
Okay, so you had to make sure you were actively listening because you knew that you didn't have anybody else to go to for help, did you? You really had to rely on that partner and actively listening. Anybody else have something they'd like to share?
That's me.
Justin, what else?
Jace, I like how you said that you had to active listener. You had to active listen to your partner, and I would like to add on. One thing that you also had to do was use your resources for the math problem and see what the sum was.
Okay, I like the vocabulary that you just used. You guys had to really rely upon your resources. All right, when I was walking around, there were so many outstanding things that I was hearing you guys say. You guys showed such leadership during this math activity. I am so impressed. I'm just going to kind of share out a few of the things that you guys were saying to your partners. I heard people saying, I politely agree with you because. I heard, Justin, you said, if I understand you correctly, you think the sum is 407 because. I heard somebody asked, this was very challenging. I was so impressed. Can your sum, Sarah, you said this, I think to Julia. Can your sum be 200 if one of your add-ins is 800? Is that possible? Did that really get Julia thinking? You guys were definitely following some of the math practices. That was very impressive. I heard, or actually I saw Jared grabbing tools to use effectively with their different addition problems. I heard somebody say, let's scoot them over on your posters. Sometimes they didn't fit. Jason said, let's scoot them over so they fit. I saw Sarah and Garrett glue them off to the side, and they kind of only glued one portion like we do in our interactive binders and flipped it up, and that's where their work was. Great idea. I didn't tell you to do any of that, did I? Obviously, the whole class, whenever somebody sneezed, you guys all said bless you. That's excellent manners. I heard Brayden say, did you need a little help with that? I can help you, Reed. And you guys worked as a team. This was absolutely phenomenal. I witnessed Carson and Aubrey working as a group. And they were on one of the really, really challenging questions. And at first, they thought that they should put their addition sentence in the make 100. And they were trying it. Then they realized, this is what he said. I realized that instead of adding 36 to this side or to this add-in, I think the most effective strategy would be if we use expanded notation, because then we won't have to regroup. What do you think about that, Aubrey? Was that a great conversation? Phenomenal. I was so impressed. And you guys noticed that you made a mistake. Not really a mistake, but you noticed that there was a more effective strategy that you could have used. That was absolutely impressive. I heard you guys say we could come up with another strategy to use for each addition problem. For a group that finished early, they said, how can we challenge ourselves? And they came up with, if they made a 10 this time, could they make it into 100, or could they switch the add-in that they made a 10? Okay, they were really trying to find ways to challenge themselves. I heard somebody say, how could you prove that? Do you guys think that's a powerful question? How could you prove that? Definitely, you have to show your text evidence. You have to really be able to explain your thoughts. Nolan, you did a nice job of praising Jason. You said, Jason, I really like how you're on track and you're paying attention to me. That's very respectful. Do you guys think that meant a lot to Jason and encouraged him to keep going along with what he was doing? I heard, oh, this is a funny one. I'll say that one for last. Is there a more efficient strategy that we could use? Could you identify another strategy that you could find. Carson, what did you notice there?
Identify. I noticed that identify is a come on, Carson.
Usually specific you need to
Don't give up.
It's green. It's a Bloom's taxonomy verb I saw making that period. Carson, I do think that you should probably move up if you're not already moved up for that. Excellent discovery. What about this one? Would you mind rephrasing that in another way that I can understand?
1, 2, 3, you rock, Carson!
What is the value of that 9? Nice job, Jace, noticing that word value. Thank you for giving me a high five. That was very polite. Of this addend. What's the value of that 9 in this addend? What about this one? Jared, this was an excellent idea. Were you with Sammy, Jared? You and Sammy did a nice job working together. And you said, Sammy, I think let's see this time if we can try it without using the models. So they used the models the first time to really kind of explain their work. And then the next time they were challenging themselves to not use the models. That was a great idea. I heard Julia say, this one is difficult because we have to regroup. That always makes it a little bit more challenging. All right? Garrett, Sarah, you guys had numerous conversations that I was very impressed with. You guys were adding on to each other's ideas and rephrasing. This one was kind of funny. You guys noticed that when the timer went off, the dynamite timer, and it was going, what did it sound like? How many times do you guys think that went off? Like a million? Nice job. What did you notice? What did I use? Hyperbole. Ava was the one that